I love the music. I can't help myself. Hey, my friends, it's Andy coming live from Orange County, California. I'm the owner of Falco Canine Academy and having some fun with a dog that I have here named Brandy. She's become part of the family just recently, and we started doing some dog training. And there's, I've done a lot of videos. I mean, over the last several years, even before YouTube was a thing, we were doing videos and understanding. When you command your dog, whether it's verbally or with a hand signal, or sometimes it's just a physical, like stepping with a foot or stopping your motion, those are all commands. All right. So they're all under the heading of commands, and understanding how important it is that your dog understands what that command means, right? That thing. And also understanding what it is that you're telling your dog to do. Because in some cases, people are saying down to their dog when the dog is jumping on them. And what you've done by accident is you're teaching the dog to jump on you more, because when you're saying down, you're also pushing on the dog or touching the dog, which essentially is praising the dog for jumping on you, even though you're saying down or off or quit jumping on me, you idiot. You're dirty in my clothes, whatever. And then you're pushing, but you're also moving. You're also encouraging. And that is, you're actually rewarding the dog in your mind, right? You're saying down. And when you're saying down, you are essentially rewarding the behavior. And you're going, why does my dog, he used to jump on me a little bit, but now that I don't want him to, it seems like he's jumping on me more. And the more that I tell him to get down, the more that he does it. Why is that happening? Well, it's because you're rewarding that behavior. And now to the dog, dog doesn't know the English language. Police dogs don't know German, and they don't know Dutch or Hungarian, whatever it is that or Czechoslovakian. They don't know these words. They're responding to what you've taught them to do in response of those words. And they don't understand what those words mean. So we're going to talk about this thing, like who's commanding who, because there's an aspect also that sometimes dogs begin to anticipate, and that can really slow down your dog training. And I'm not talking to professionals necessarily, but it's important for our dog trainers that we've trained all over the world. And this is an important thing. And when you're evaluating your client and your customer, and you're looking and you're seeing, why is the dog doing this or not doing something, right? It's one or the other. The dog is either doing something in response to a stimulus, or the dog is not doing something that we want them to do. And trying to work that out and trying to figure it out and analyzing from a distance, this is going to be part of it. Is the dog the one commanding? Is the dog commanding the human being? And I'm going to go into some explanation. I'm going to show you a video that I just took earlier today. Oh my gosh. Earlier today, to kind of illustrate this. And it actually went better than I thought, right? Just to illustrate this one point. But is the dog commanding you? Because in some cases you can say, oh, look at how smart my dog is. They're doing this thing that I've been wanting them to do. And then you are giving them something in response to them doing something. And essentially the dog is commanding you to give me a pet on the head, or to give me a treat, or to come over and give me attention. And so now the dog has become the dog trainer. That's why this is titled, Who's Commanding Who? If you've ever had a dog look at you, say your dog is looking at you and they're laying there with their, I don't know if I look cute or not, but the dog is looking at you like this, and the dog begins to tilt its head and give you this eyes, right? And then maybe come up to you and kind of snuggle up to you and look at you in the face. And then you go, oh, you're being so good. And then you get up and you go get a toy, or you go get a treat, or you go get something, right? The dog is doing that because he knows he looks cute. No, he's learned over time that for some reason, when I do this and do this, my human gets up and gives me crap. my gets up and takes me out for a walk. My human gets up and gives me something. And so the dog has now learned to not respect you, right? The dog is teaching you to respect him or her. And that is not a good place to be, because it leads to problems in other areas. Not with all dogs. Now, not all of you don't start jumping on me and saying, well, my dog doesn't bite me. My dog doesn't run out the door. This is not necessarily a blanket statement that your dog, who's now commanding you and ruling your world, is necessarily a bad dog, because there's some dogs that are like that I really don't care for. because I make no money off of dogs that are not horrible dogs. We make more money off of horrible dogs. I love horrible dogs because that's where our customers come from. Hey, Amy, nice to see you. My producer, Amy, is on. Thank goodness. Also a fantastic dog trainer. If you're in Texas and you need a dog trainer, I know Texas is a big place, but you need a dog trainer. I have customers that put their dogs on planes and ship them to me all the time. So it doesn't matter where you're at in the world. I've had customers in Paris, France, ship me their dog. I've had people that live in Canada and across the United. If you're looking for a good dog trainer besides us, then send them to Amy Feltz there in Texas. Hey, Kathy, nice to see you. Glad that you are here too. I love your little your American flag with the German Shepherd embossed in the American flag. That is amazing. I love that. I may turn that into a t-shirt. I may steal it. My dog has me trained. I admit it. And that's okay. Again, if this is not causing you grief, maybe not a big deal. It's possible that it's not a big deal. But when we begin to look at other things, and this happens, I would say often when people bring us dogs that are really bad, right? They just will not, you open a door, like you're trying to ease out the door and they're busy trying to get out of my way. Yeah, I'm going to go find that cat that was meowing last night. Where's that mother effer? Right? Sorry. The dog is like, oh, and like pushing you out of the way to get outside. And you go, I love my dog. When we're at home and we're sitting there, he cuddles me and we spoon and he barks when people go by. It's really cool. But I hate it when he tries to when he gets out, I can't get him. And he runs and he starts humping the dog down the street, or he starts chasing squirrels and I'm wearing my nice clothes and I can't get a hold of him. I hate it when he does that. This is kind of where this thing begins to manifest itself is the word. Is the dog is losing respect for you because now he's commanding you in these little things. These little things go a long way. I was at a riot the other day, and you've never probably heard that transition ever in dog training. I was at an actual riot the other day, and I talked about the law enforcement there had taken on a stance of zero tolerance for stuff. Many law enforcement agencies across the United States have not done that, right? They're waiting until, I don't know what they're waiting for. But when you have a law enforcement in a riot situation, have a zero tolerance for zero bad behavior when they have decided, okay, this is it. From this point on, we will not tolerate bad behavior. We have a zero bad behavior tolerance policy. And when that happens, there's nothing. We have nothing happens. Why? Because you've said, hey, I am in charge. We need to be at this point because we are in charge. We are in charge of your peace and quiet. Same thing with your dog, right? It may be in your idea these very minor things. Right now, it becomes bigger in other things. And so we need to have zero tolerance in dogs, like some German Shepherds, some Belgian Malinois, Pit Bulls, Akitas, all my bad breeds, Dalmatians, Chihuahuas, the worst dog on the planet. I know I have some Chihuahua people that have begun to follow me lately, but they can be because they're little and nobody cares, right? They bite you, you just kick them off, like they're and you just kick them. They're not that big of a deal, but you take that Chihuahua and put it in the body of a pit bull, that dog would not be tolerated. So this goes for all little dogs to big dogs. You begin to tolerate a dog's lack of respect for you, little things, and it will manifest itself in the bigger things. I promise you. And this is something that we at Falco Canine Academy have developed an expertise at, and that is identifying the problem. And we'll begin training at places where you go, well, I didn't know that you were going to start it. I did not think that you were going to start it there, right? My dog is biting the neighbor kid. Why are you dealing with sit down, stay, and come? I just want my dog to stop biting the neighbor. Well, it's because we need to start here. This is why the dog is biting the neighbor kid. Not always, but in some cases, the reason the dog is biting the bad kid next door. Like we go, oh, well, it's kind of okay that he's bad. No, it's not good for your dog to bite children. So if your dog's biting children, it can manifest itself from something that you're not doing around the house. You're allowing the dog to show lack of respect for you. And in the end, the dog is now able to do these other things and you're not able to stop him or her because the dog has no respect for you. This really has very little. It probably does have something to do with the kid, but it has more to do about you. and what you've allowed this dog to get away from. So let me look at a couple of these comments here. I've already had somebody admit no. Yeah, that. Chihuahua. Okay, I guess that. All right. Oh, Chihuahuas. I got you. Sorry about that. Had a brain fart there. All right. Wow, pure. Yeah. Wawas. That's what you call it. Howdy from, where are we here? Oh, wow. What's happening with my gizmo here? All right. Hey, man. Good evening from Germany. Nice to see you, Facebook user. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are because you are in a private group and you need to give the group StreamYard permission to put your face and your name on there. I'm so sorry. I don't know who you are. Trying to think who would be watching from Germany. But we have viewers from all over the world. All right. So I'm going to show you this video now. And what I want you to understand, this is a Labrador Retriever, black Labrador Retriever. Her name's Brandy. And just simply my kids are teaching the dog to we have the sit. We have the sit and shake, we have the down, and now we've moved into the rollover. And so where you're going to see this, and I want to tell you ahead of time what you're going to see. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to see, then you're going to see it, and then I'm going to tell you what you saw. Okay. And that's the best way to teach. And so what you're going to see is you have a Labrador Retriever. We're teaching the dog to sit, shake, down, and roll over. And what you're going to see, the dog's going to try different things, right? The dog wants the treat, right? So we're using treat reward. Eventually we will get away from treat reward, but we've shaped the behavior because it's a lab and it's easy to use treats to shape the behaviors that we're looking for. But you're going to see what happens not only in dog training, but in in training dolphins and whales. They begin to anticipate, and they know that when you get in a certain position, whether it's on the side of a pool in relationship to a dolphin or a whale, same thing with the dog. When you get into a certain position and you say something, the dog will begin to guess and will want to perform and do something in other words, to get the treat. So the dog is now going to try to beat the system. The dog is going to, before you do anything, right? He knows you have the treat in the hand, and she will then go into a sit right away. Well, if I sit, he's going to give me a treat. And at that point, when you had good repetitions, you now deny the dog the treat. Why? Because the dog is trying to tell you, give me the treat. Look at what I'm doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So the dog now is telling you, give me the treat because I'm sitting. No, we're not going to do that now. In the beginning we do, but then we switch the game. We change the game. And oh, wait, whoa, what are you doing? And then you're going to see the dog sit, and the dog goes, well, maybe the sit's not enough. And now the dog's going to go like, I want the paw. Like, I'll give you the paw. Give me the treat. And so now the dog's going, well, I'll try two things. I'm sitting. I'm waving at you. Give me the gosh darn treat. What's wrong with you, man? Give me the treat. And you're going to go, no, that's not, no, I tell you what to do. Wait for me to tell you what to do. And now you begin to shape and change the game. Now, we'll learn eventually, not during this one session, but the dog will begin to learn, all right, you're in charge. Tell me what you want. Dang it, you tell me what I'm supposed to do. And you see the shift. That's a huge shift because that's what you want when you now begin to tackle some of the bigger problems. Again, this may seem very minor, but don't take minor things as meaningless. Minor things aren't meaningless. Minor things aren't meaningless with children. Minor things aren't meaningless when dealing with a riot. Minor things are big. They're big when you're beginning to shape the overall big picture as time goes on. All right. So I want you to understand this. When you are with your dog and you are working on something, that you work on the little things. These little things are so important. And the dog's mind and what he's and she is learning is huge in regard to loving and respecting you. The love is good. Dogs will love you. Dogs, are glad you're home. Feed me. Oh, you're home. Yes. Where's the food? Get the freaking bowl. Give me some food. Where have you been? Right? But they're wagging their tail. Right? Take me for a walk. Right? But we want them to do that with respect. With respect. Right? Children love to eat, but don't give me attitude when I don't make the food that you want. Have joy in the food, even if you don't like it. Enjoy the fact that you live in a house where you don't have to go and hunt for the food and then bring it back home so that I could cook it. Have joy. Don't give me attitude that you want a wiener schnitzel and I made you a steak, which is what I get. I made a ribeye and you want what? You want chicken nuggets? Are you kidding me? Have some respect. All right. You're waiting for this video. You're saying, Andy, shut up. Show me the dang video. All right. So I'm going to show you the video. I talk in the video, so you won't know me from this, but I'm going to come back and talk about what you saw. So I've told you what you're going to see. Look for the dog. A dog even tries to roll over. She actually does the best rollover that she's done since we've been teaching the dog to roll over, in an attempt to get me to give the treat. And I deny the dog the treat. And people go, what? Give the dog the treat? That was the best roll. Well, no. We're at a point now that we don't have to do that. It's okay. It's okay that you don't give a dog a reward every time. Again, we're going to learn that later on. But just in this behavior, or this shaping of the behavior is what it is we're going to do. All right. Let me get rid of this lower third so it's not in the way. There we go. And I'm going to switch over. And I'm going to turn off my mic. So there's going to be a delay between me turning off my mic and the video starting. So don't worry. Don't go away. Here we go. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of reward-based training here. This is Brandy, and we're going to do. So this is the title of the broadcast. You see, she's already trying to shake hands. Here, I need a better angle here. And now she's trying to down. So the dog is guessing now, right? So in the introduction, I talked about that this dog is. We're going to do a little bit of reward-based training here. This is Brandy, and we're going to do. So this is the title of the broadcast. You see, she's already trying to shake hands. Here, I need a better angle here. And now she's trying to down. So the dog is guessing now, right? So in the introduction, I talked about that this dog is. We've trained the dog now, just me and the kids, just for fun. Train the dog to shake, to down, and begin the process of teaching the dog to roll over. In my hands, I have some treats, right? We're going to talk about later on in another video about intermittent reward system and the importance of doing that, and not always having a dog perform based on you having treats in your hand or the dog believing you have treats in your hand. But that's for another subject. Okay. I'm just trying to get a better angle so you can see. All right. So as I'm doing this and I have her seated, sit, right? She's sitting and now she downed on her own. So I'm not going to reward her for doing that. And so we can kind of bring her back around again. And we say, sit. Good. And I want her to do it on command. I don't want her to do it. I want her to guess. This is an important aspect of dog training because you want the dog to respond to your words, to your actions, if you're using hands, not the dog to anticipate what it is you want. When you're trying to gain control and respect, you want the dog to do it because you told them to, not because they're guessing right and then getting rewarded based on a guess. There's a really important aspect of that when you're talking about a dog respecting you, right? Down. Good. And so you notice I waited there. This is something we've been working on because there's that tendency in the beginning that a dog will down and bounce right back up again. Now the training is down and hold it and stay there until I tell you to get up. Now I'm going to try again. Down. Yeah, trying to roll over. And I'm not going to reward that. Again, she's trying to, this is perfect. And she's trying to get reward. She's trying to tell me when to give her the reward. No, that is not respect, right? That is the dog trying to tell me, give me the reward. Look, I'm performing for you. Look, I'm doing this thing. That is not what we want. And so this is a really, this is us. I didn't anticipate. The rollover was the last thing we trained, and she hasn't been great. That was one of the best rollovers she's ever done, but she didn't do it on command. Now, there is a thing that in the beginning of training, you may reward that because that dog did something pretty good, but that's not what this video is about. If the video camera was not, there's a chance that I might have rewarded that rollover because that actually is one of the best rollovers she's ever done. But it wasn't based on me telling her to roll over. So now you see that she's letting down. So what am I going to do? You can do something like this. Sit. Nope. Come here. Sit. Good. And to shake. So I'm not going to reward for the shake. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ignore the shake. Ignoring a behavior, like a bad behavior, is a means of sometimes extinguishing a behavior. Now, we don't want to completely extinguish the behavior. What we're doing is extinguishing her desire or her thought process that she can get me to reward her based on what she's doing. I want to extinguish that behavior, not the shake behavior. I'm trying to extinguish the behavior of trying to guess the game. All right. And again, she's trying all kinds of stuff here. Dolphins do the same thing. Whales do the same thing, is that they will begin to try to guess the game. Here, sit. Good. know, I bring her from a down, and she's going to continue trying the down because that's one of the last things. The rollover and the down. It's usually the down and then the the rollover is what we've been rewarding. Shake. Nope. Sit. Sit. Shake. Good. Nice. So do you see that? She tried the down first. So we're always going to be messing with her brains just a little bit. And we got to teach her, just wait until I tell you what to do. All right. I hope this has been a good illustration or demonstration of this thing. I'm going to have to do the rollover at some point. So let me try it now. The rollover will not be as good as the one that she did on her own. All right. Come here. Sit. Good. So I wanted to reward her sitting there for a long period of time and wait after she had tried to get the shake. Don't want her to think she's getting rewarded for the shake. Down. Roll up. Yep. Roll up. All the way. All the way. Good girl. Nice. Good girl. As a matter of fact, I'll give you all the rest of the treats. She gets the jackpot for the good rollover because she didn't get it the first time. So why not give her a jackpot? Here, I got more. For something that's actually the second best rollover she's ever done, that she's kind of went out. She has that habit of stalling. And so we're going to work on that. It's brand new. We just started doing it yesterday. And the kids, actually not yesterday, whenever I had the kids last is when they started doing that. And then I picked up on it over the weekend. Hope this has been helpful to teach you something about not rewarding the dog guessing or anticipating something or trying to get rewarded based on what they're doing. We want the dog to get rewarded based on what it is we want them to do. Hope that makes sense. All right, I'll see you back at the big screen. All right, take care. All right. So there you go. I mean, there's not really much for me to tell you other than that actually worked out a little bit better, especially that rollover. That really just cracks me up, even watching it for the third time, watching her try that rollover, because it's always been that was the best one. But that's not what the video was about. So I had to stay strong and not reward it, because I was for a second there I was going, oh, maybe I should reward that. But anyway, I hope that you understand how this works, and I hope that illustrates where you can see, right? She tried everything. She's even more than what I remember. She's like pawing, she's sitting, it's called forecasting. She's trying to anticipate, and you can just stand there. Now, because it's a video, in some cases, I may also just get up and walk away. If she begins to down, stay, sit, do all this kind of stuff without me telling her what to do, I may put the treats back in the bag, and I've done that before, and walk away. And then come back. And it's really this weird little thing that people think, well, she's being good and she's trying this thing. This thing happens all the time. And you just go, oh, she's just being good. Let me just give her something. You're setting yourself up for failure for other stuff on the road. And again, when we're talking about bad behaviors like biting people, running out the front door and not coming back upon command, knocking people down as they come through the door, all of those things start from a strong, they don't start, they end when you have a strong obedience protocol. If you have a strong obedience protocol, it will often be easier to fix some of these bigger problems that may either that may present themselves as time goes on, as you get to know a dog, or the dog grows up and becomes grouchy, or what have you. If you don't have a strong foundation of obedience and respect, I cannot tell you how important it is to understand that what I just taught you and just talked about has to do with respect, that the dog has to learn that they are not the ones in charge. Giving you that cute little look and saying, hey, it's about time you gave me some treats, look, right? And you get up and you go get the treats. No, stop yourself. Understand, hey, Andy had this thing the other day, and he said not to do that. No, you decide, right? And you change things up. You don't fall into a routine. You fall into a routine where the dog begins to anticipate. You also see this in the arena of agility, right? A dog at some point no longer needs the human being running alongside of them going, come on, right? All right, up. All right, so, right? At some point, the dog no longer needs you. And you could just bring the dog, open the crate, the dog will go, it goes on the teeter-totter, wait, and then to get off the teeter-totter, they go up on the A-frame, not jump off and walk down the other side of the A-frame. The dog will go through a tunnel really fast and look really cute and then go through the weed poles, right? The dog, at some point, no longer needs you. And so this is really important to understand. That's okay for competition. And you could go through the motions of encouraging your dog. Now, there are some dogs that need the encouragement the entire time because maybe they're not a dog that really was built or has the desire to do all of the agility things. And so you do need to be there to encourage that kind of dog. But you have a dog like a Labrador Retriever that has a very strong desire for food, and the dog will just begin to do all these kinds of things. I literally could just get a treat, and the dog, you saw, right? The dog would sit, shake, down, and roll over without me saying anything, right? That takes you out of the picture. You always want to be part of the picture when it comes to your dog. Your dog must look at you as Jesus. And I know that may upset some people, but understand this, your dog must look at you like God, Jesus, in that form, that everything comes through you. I cannot go out the front door unless it comes through you. I cannot eat my food unless it comes through you. I cannot sit on the couch. I can't get on the bed unless you give me permission, and the permission comes through you. When you have a relationship with a dog like that, and again, in most cases, I'm talking about a dog that has the propensity to be a bad dog, that's the kind of relationship you need to have. Some people have dogs that are just good, and you may be able to fudge on some of the stuff, and it's not that big of a deal. So I understand that there's dogs out there that are just simply good dogs, right? I have 5 children. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but I have 1 or 2 children that are just, I don't have to hardly do anything. If I give them a look, that sometimes they'll start crying because they go, oh my God, he gave me that look. Or other kids, I can give them a look, I could punch them in the face, I could not feed them for 2 days, and they still be angry dogs. And so you understand, everyone is different. All right. So if you're watching this and you have a dog that is kind of out of control in some areas of its life, it's got to start back at obedience, and you may need to take a few steps back and understand where you have failed the dog, to understand that they need to respect you, and while loving you. Somebody had a great comment that the ever wagging tail, the number one, that's a little bit of a Labrador, but also this dog is very sensitive. And so you caught something there, Kathy, that the dog's tail was waggy, right? There wasn't a lot of like, oh, I'm afraid of you type of thing. I have dogs that I intimidate with great ease. And this is one of those with my voice or some of my, the dog will kind of like do one of these things. The dog is very sensitive to stuff like that. But and so that takes me, right, to build up my energy in some cases when this dog feels worried or scared. And that's, again, where you build trust and respect, right? Trust and respect and love, because I understand what this dog needs. And so the trust and respect that you kind of identified with that waggy tail is a dog understands that I know this dog, and know that I cannot be the same kind of trainer or person with a dog like a Belgian Malinois, German Shepherd that's trained for police work, where I rarely will get into the point like I do with this dog. This dog, oh, what a good girl, nice, right? And with a dog like a Labrador or like a Belgian Malinois or German Shepherd, sometimes in police work, I just have to say good boy, and the dog melts, right? Because I don't need to get like all sappy. This dog is very sensitive, and so there's some times where I have to kind of like, come on, what a good girl, and she responds. And again, that shows my understanding of who she is as a dog, and my respect for her to understand what her needs are, separate another dog that I could be much harder on. That same German Shepherd, I could also say, no, get over here. With her, if I did that, she'd poop her pants. If she wore pants, she'd poop her pants and pee. Oops, sorry about that. She would, pee all over herself right now, she didn't even wake up. Normally, she would have like went in the other room. But she's laying right in front of me right now, and now I think she's kind of getting over it. All right, my friends, I hope that this all made sense. I hope that in the structure of telling you what you're going to see, showing you, and then talking about what you saw a little bit helped how you understand where it is. It's called the throw up look. It's a bad thing. Yeah, my husband and I were just talking about a goofy 2-year-old German Shepherd that we have that does this. He pulls out of this all the stops, trying to persuade me to bend to his will. Yeah, they're out there. There's and some of them become very good, and you don't even realize they're doing it to you. You don't even realize that is. That is what's going on in that dog's life. All right, my friends, I love you guys very much, and appreciate you. And make sure and give us a call when you're looking for some dog training. 714-990-9010. 714-990-9010. I should have that up so you can see it. Oh my gosh, where is it? I don't have it. Here, I'll put it up here. I've gotten over, I think, 200 requests for friends over the last couple days, something like that. I don't know. It's been a lot. I can't seem to keep up. And I know that I've received a lot of messenger messages. A lot of them have to do with dog training and that kind of stuff. I apologize, but you may have to call that number to get an appointment or something like that, because I apologize. I know I have a security guy that has a dog issue that I need to call him for. He called me earlier today. I have a narcotics dog that I'm training right now, doing some videos on that. You'll see some of those videos probably later on. And I got like 3 or 4 emails of people that have dogs that are eating people or doing something, and they need some help. And I apologize if I'm not being able to keep up with all the messages. I'm so sorry. But I wish I could show you. It's awesome, and I'm not complaining. A lot of people that have businesses aren't getting responses or not getting, and I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you, I apologize if I've not gotten back to you as fast as you would like, and I'm really sorry to hear that, or not sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry that that's happening, but I will do my best to get back to you the best that I can. All right, my friends, you guys have been great as usual. Thank you for all the comments. Comments are one of the ways this video gets put out there, and more people will see it. So please share. I also have a podcast. It's a dog training podcast. If you go onto iHeartRadio or Spotify and just type in Andy Falco or Falco Canine Dog Talk or something like that, it will come up. If you would subscribe to that, that would be great. I would appreciate that very much. All right, my friends, take care, and I will see you later. Here comes the music. Are you ready? Are you ready now? Hold on.